and welcome back to my home kitchen. I'm going to be cooking the books again today with this book. This is a new one called Sift by Nicola Lamb. It's brilliant. It's, I think, just hit the Times bestseller list, so a huge achievement. It's her first book, and it is a really great textbook for bakers. Whether you're beginning or you're a seasoned pro, what Nicola's really good at is explaining how and why things happen in your bakes. So there's a huge section at the beginning about how like eggs work, how sugar works, and how to fix certain things. And then there's a bunch of recipes, and I'm going to choose something fairly simple today. I have baked from this a couple of times. I've tried her Genoese sponge for a Swiss roll, which is really good. But today I'm going to bake the maple pretzel Buttercrunch, which looks a little bit like that. Because I just wanted something simple and quick, quickish, and something that I can just kind of, nibble on at home. So let's go. I started by melting 170 grams of butter in a medium saucepan. You want to make sure it's big enough to handle a bit of bubbling. And then once that had melted, I kept it on a heat, which is a kind of medium heat at this point, and I stirred in 50 grams of water, 100 grams of maple syrup, and 125 grams of caster sugar. And then I just gave that a really good stir. I stirred it until all of the sugar had dissolved and there wasn't any sort of butter splitting out. And then I kept that on the heat, a medium heat, without stirring it at all to bring it to the boil. Now I'm looking for the mixture to reach 145 degrees, which, just like with any caramel, always takes way longer than you think. It gets to a certain point, like around 100, and then it just takes ages to get up there. So just waiting and eating pretzels. And that took 15 to 20 minutes. The book says 10 minutes and mine took longer. I probably had it on a too low temperature at this point, but I'm working with unfamiliar equipment here. Once it reached 145 degrees C, I removed it from the heat and I stirred in half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda and somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 teaspoon of flaky sea salt. And I just stirred that really, really well. It looks weird at this point. It kind of bubbles up. All the butter sort of separates. It goes a little bit like brain-like, but I didn't panic. I just followed the instructions and poured it onto a silicone mat on a baking sheet, or you could use greaseproof paper as well. And it says to spread it out in the recipe, but to be honest, it just spread itself out quite nicely. And then you just leave it to cool for an hour, because it's pretty hot right now. So I finished the first part of the recipe, which is making the toffee, and it's a really nice texture. It smells really good. It's kind of crumbly and crunchy rather than like chewy and hard. I might have tasted it because a little bit fell off, and I had to go somewhere. So that's been chilling behind me for about an hour and it looks really good. And now I'm going to make the topping, which is just tempered dark chocolate. So I'm going to do this over a bain-marie. I don't have a microwave, so if I was in the studio, I'd be doing this the cheats way in the microwave, but I don't have one of those here, so it's a double boiler situation. So here we go. So to temper my chocolate, I have my bain-marie, which is on a really low temperature, and I've got 125 grams of dark chocolate in my bowl. So I just give that a stir every now and then till it's completely melted, and I'm checking it with a thermometer because I want it to be around 40 degrees C. And when it gets to 40 degrees or thereabouts, I take it off the heat and I stir it a little bit just to cool it down a bit. You want to really make sure you're giving it a really great stir, like really quickly, really agitating it to help the chocolate to temper. And then I have some finely chopped chocolate, so the same chocolate. I've got about 50 grams, I might not use all of that, and I'm just adding a little bit at a time, stirring in between each addition until the chocolate is melting, and I want to get that temperature back down to about 30 degrees C. Again, you want to really stir this quite vigorously. What Nicola says is to ensure you have enough friction to get the crystals in line to properly temper. There you go, some of that great science chat for you. So my chocolate's melted and it's ready to use. So I'm going to grab my yummy toffee back and spread it all over the top. So I'm using about half for the top, or maybe just a little bit more than that. And then just using a spatula, spread it out across every single bit. And then while the chocolate is still wet or tacky, you can sprinkle, you don't have to do this, but you can sprinkle flaky sea salt and pretzels, which is what she recommends in the book. I couldn't find the nice curly whirly pretzels, unfortunately, anywhere. We went to 3 supermarkets looking, my husband and I. So we've got the straight ones for this, but anything will do. You could even do crisps, or you can even do nothing at all. It's completely up to you. And then because I've tempered the chocolate, it's set really quickly. So you can then turn it over once it's set and then spread the rest of your chocolate over the bottom. And then I like to flip it back onto the silpat just because I like a nice flat bottom. And then just leave it to cool completely. Well, my chocolate's set because I tempered it. Did it pretty well, I think, top and bottom. And I have a rolling pin here, guys, because the only way to crack into this little bad boy, I think, is to maybe smash it up. Like in the picture, it looks pretty neat, but we'll see how I get on. Okay, so that didn't work. So I'm going in with my hands. Let's go. Well, it's not what I was expecting, actually. I mean, even though I had a little nibble on it earlier, before I started this whole process, I thought it was going to be a lot more crunchy. You know, like a hard toffee or something. But it's really crumbly, really easy to eat. And like a chewy, hard thing. And all those lovely, salty, sweet things that are happening are delicious. Also, I've used a really good quality chocolate here. And it's a dark, intense, rich chocolate, 70%, which is very intense. But because there's so much sweetness going on and the saltiness, it's just all really perfectly balanced. Delicious. Well, I hope you check out Nicola's book, Nicola Lamb's book, Sift. Please go and have a look. It is a really, really great textbook-like compendium of all the things you're going to need if you are interested in baking. It's about getting the techniques right and then using them in really lovely, traditional, simple ways. And there are bakes for all kinds of levels. You've got quick ones like this, which literally anyone could have done, all the way up to like full day project baking, you know, like breads and stuff, and loads of bits in between, like loads of little additions that you might want to make. And yeah, I really like this book. It's beautiful. Get your hands on a copy. I will be back doing one of these again soon, I hope, because I really enjoy them and I think you do too. And in the meantime, I'll be back in the studio baking all those cakes. So I will see you soon, and I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you did by giving me a thumbs up, or even just, you know, writing me a message in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Bye.